Imagine waking up and seeing a debit of 400k in your account. And as far as you can remember, you did not borrow money from the bank and you did not authorize any transaction. Just like that, 400k in this economy. Hey, it is not funny, it's happening to people, real people like you. It's happening to Udeme, it's happening to Cynthia, and they are complaining. And guess what? It is happening to our big banks. Now the question is this: if the banks with so much trust to keep our money cannot explain how money is growing wings and disappearing from our accounts, how safe is our money? Okay, and what is happening in the big banks and how can we stay safe with our finances? And that is what we're looking at today on the show. My name is Ayo Jimmy, but people call me Pocket Police. When you see me with this kind of rod, you know I am not joking. I mean business, okay? My job is to help you protect and get better with your finances. Please help me grow this channel. I need you to subscribe to the channel now at this point in time and like this video, okay? What is happening in our big banks? Is your money still safe? That question will be answered after this timeout. So last week on social media, GT Bank was trending for all the wrong reasons in the world. One guy called Max Vesha, that's his handle on Twitter, or X as we know it today, said for some reason, miraculously, 400,000 naira disappeared from his bank account. He just woke up one day and he saw a debit of 400,000 naira. And because he knew that he never authorized any transaction and he did not borrow money from anybody, let alone from the bank. So he went to the customer service desk to complain that, hey, I did not authorize any transaction. Why am I having a debit of 400,000 naira on my account? And they said, you know what? The last time you were paid by your employer, that was the previous month, they overpaid you by 400,000 naira and they placed a lien on your account. And that is debit you are seeing there. The guy was like, I never collected any amount to that effect. He said, you know what? Go and meet your employers. And the guy went to his employers. Did you pay me twice last month? They said, no, we only paid you once. He came back to the bank to complain and they said, well, we can't help it. The record is showing that extra 400k was paid into your account and it was taken out in the form of a lien on your account to the tune of 400k debit. And after a while, the guy got frustrated. Now, the question is, what is really happening here? There are two possibilities. Number one, it's either the guy was lying, and that could be a very costly lie because that is defamation of a corporate character. How can you be lying about a bank as big as GTB if you were lying? Hey, guy, I am sure the bank will get back at you one way or the other because that news actually spread. So if that is not possible, I mean, if the guy was not lying, it means he was telling the truth. It means it happened in the bank. And that makes me wonder, hey, where do we go from here? Because these are the banks that we trust with our money. They are preaching financial inclusion every now and then, encouraging us to come and save money there. If they cannot explain how money is going wings and disappearing from our accounts, we are all in trouble. If the guy was not lying about this claim, if it is not a false allegation, if the money actually disappeared from his account, then there are also two possibilities here. Number one, it's either there is internal collusion among the bank staff that are now placing debit on people's accounts intentionally to rob them of their hard-earned income. Or, it could be external attackers attacking the ICT infrastructure or the cyber infrastructure of the bank. Whichever way, it does not make the bank look good in any way. This is bad. I sat down to think about this thing so that I can help you with information that can help you protect your finance so that you don't fall victim of this scandal. And I realized that there is big crisis in our big banks. And a number of factors could be responsible. Number one, their size might be the problem. They might be too big to change and adapt to the ICT war or the cyber war that is happening everywhere now. Have you realized the fact that the elephant of First Bank has not changed position since 1894? It is still facing the way it is facing since inception. Okay, that's a joke. And even if you look at Union Bank had to redesign the horse. You know, I just realized the fact that back then, banks boasted of being big, strong, and reliable like Union Bank. The horse of Union Bank had to be redesigned so that it can function and become more agile into this economy, into this world that we have cyber wars here and there. On the part of GT Bank, since they became GT Co, maybe the window in that their logo, you know that window there in that their logo, maybe the window has become bigger and we're not getting to see some messy details at the back end. Well, these are just speculations regulations. I don't really know what is happening there, but then maybe the size is the problem, because size has its own advantages, but it also has a downside, which is you are not nimble. You are playing the game with boys who live and breathe cyber war every time. Those who are in the dark corners of the web doing shady things, they are doing everything possible to rob even you, bank owners and their customers, of your hard-earned income. Maybe you are too big as a big bank to adapt and do what is needful to stay safe and keep your customers' deposits safe. That might be one of the problems there. It could also be as a result of the way these banks are structured to operate. Let's not forget that these banks have been existing, many of them, before the ICT revolution, matured fully. At their core, they are banks trying to migrate towards fintech. Okay, unlike the old place of this world that are fintechs that are trying to, extend backward to become banks. One is better prepared for the cyber wars that are happening now than the other. As banks try to adapt to fine-tune their technology and get better with their ICT infrastructure, then before they get to the point where they become very robust in their ICT infrastructure, these kind of things might actually happen. Beyond waking up and seeing debit alerts on your account, you have a lot of, things you can't really explain. Incomplete transactions, unexplained debits, services hanging, you can't do this, USSD codes failing, and so on and so forth. And these are signs of crisis in our big banks. Worse still, tech boys are leaving the banks in droves. The jackpot syndrome. Where is your brother that was working in the bank some years ago? After he had all the certifications in ICT, he has gone to the US, he has gone to the UK. And when ICT boys leave banks in droves, those that are very qualified, getting replacements is not as easy as that. So what do you have to do to stay safe in the face of these crises in the banking sector, especially with the big banks? Number one, check your accounts every time, especially your salary account. Check it, because many of these people did not get to know that there was a kind of lien or debit of their account until the next payday, when money entered the account and that money left like that, and they said the money has been used to settle debt that you are not even aware of in the first place. So the first thing is check your accounts every day. Number two, use more than one account to keep your money. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It is risky, because if the basket drops from your head, all your eggs can be broken. So keep your accounts separate. Keep different accounts for different purposes. I know some people, for their daily transactions, they use all these fintechs, the OPs of this world, and for big bulk movement, they use some other banks. So spread your risks, okay? Spread your money in 2, 3, 4 banks, so that if one bank is misbehaving, you can quickly leave and stay glued to other banks. And the last thing you have to do is stay glued to this particular channel. Watch this channel every time, and if you're here to subscribe, I'm begging you, subscribe. Help me grow this channel.